season high, 10 games over 500. Again, even though they had a bad third quarter, the reality is without Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, there's no way in the world that the Oklahoma City Thunder are going to be able to outscore Sacramento. And so the Kings with I like the performance tonight on the heels of what happened 2 days ago, that emotional game, double overtime thriller. I like, maybe a few too many turnovers in this game, but I'm nitpicking. 124-115, Sacramento with the win. Now 35 up and 25 down. And again, the Kings do win at 124-115, Ryan, in Sacktown. And, the bottom line is the Kings can afford to have a bad quarter against a team without their best player and still be fine. And they really were. This game was never in jeopardy, really, in the final 6 minutes of the fourth quarter. And how about that? 35 and 25 on the year, Ryan. That's amazing.
Hard to believe, Grant. 35 and 25. Think about that at this point in the season. They can have a bad quarter. They can't have a bad quarter against the top teams in the conference like that. But against Oklahoma without SGA, certainly. So Kings win. That's what matters. We move on. They get a day off, and we see them again.
Well, again, you got to take advantage of opportunities. Portland forfeited the game coming out of the break. And then you get a team without their all-star, one of the better players in the league. And that's part of the NBA schedule. You're going to get opportunities where the game that would look difficult doesn't look hard anymore because of how other teams are managing their players and injuries. So 3-0 out of the break, you'll take it. And there's no reason to think that the Kings are going to lose to this team on Tuesday if SGA does not play again.
Yeah, they should roll in that one for sure. Because there were things tonight the Kings could have done better. You go back, you make the adjustments, and you come out, get another win. And Raw B, I see you. It's like the 6th or 7th message. You got the score right. Congratulations, and the Kings won. Yeah. So you will be getting a T-shirt. Congratulations.
I love it. All right. Again, 36-26, the first quarter, the Kings win. And the second quarter, the Thunder won 24-22. The Thunder outscored the Kings 40-36 in the third. But in the fourth, it was 30-25 Sacramento. Really, if you really want to look at this game, the Kings took control of the game in the first quarter. And that's what I like. They didn't really let Oklahoma City, and they got close a couple of times. But the point is, the Kings came out, and I thought they made a statement early in this game. And that's the thing that I probably take away the most.
Absolutely, Grant. I mean, we've talked about them needing to start games strong, and that's exactly what they did tonight, and against what I consider without SGA an inferior opponent. So that is a good sign. Hopefully they can continue that.
Yeah, 124-115. Sacramento, not only that, they are now 17-13 on the road. That's a big time. That's the best in the conference. I mean, that's big time right there.
It's huge. It's huge, and it's a good way to start off the second half. Like you said, 3-0. Really, at this point in the season, it's not looking at the wins column. It's looking at the loss column.
Absolutely.
And, the Kings are in control right now in that 3 seed.
Absolutely. So, again, 124-115, and it is a fabulous way to come out of the All-Star break with 3 wins. All right. So love it. Now when you look at the standings, and again, we talked about, Phoenix, they lost tonight. The Dallas Mavericks, they lost tonight to the or earlier today to the Lakers. Right. So you look at Sacramento now, think about the distance that they've created between them and the teams behind them. They have a 4-game lead in the loss column over Phoenix and the Clippers, and a 5-game lead in the loss column over Dallas. That is gigantic with 22 games left. The only way, and I don't want to jinx this, the only way things are not going to come out really well for Sacramento is if De'Aaron Fox gets hurt in one of these games coming up. He's the one player that I think the Kings they would go spiraling down in the standings without. So as long as he and Sabonis, but I think more importantly for Fox, as long as he is healthy and is on the floor, the Kings are going to be just fine.
Yeah, they will be, Grant, and especially with the play of Monk now, the last couple games, if he can continue that stretch, that's going to be great. And Denver is playing the Clippers tonight, so that's another big game to watch for. The Denver's obviously favored; they're at home by 3. But yeah, the Kings, short of injuries, short of just a colossal breakdown, they're sitting nice. They're sitting real nice.
They like your look tonight, Rhino.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Oh, you mean the
Absolutely.
shirt behind me, right?
That's exactly
what
the
look you're talking about.
Of course. Yeah, that's right. By the way, I will. All right. I will. First of all right, we got to be honest with people. So we can't give out shirts to every single person that corrects. I mean, I don't know how we're going to do this. You know, I don't want to like go back on and tell people they don't win if they got the right score. So we'll go back and we'll look. If you got the right score, we'll take care of you. Okay. All right.
Absolutely.
All right. Because I don't want to screw anybody over. I mean, we're all having fun here. So here's the deal. That shirt, okay, in the background, all right, is available. But here's what we're going to do now. We've got such a favorable response. I have somebody that has reached out to me, and very soon it's going to be available on my website, ifyoudon'tlikethat.com. Okay, very soon. And I'll let you know as soon as it happens. So you'll be able to go to the website and you'll be able to order the merchandise right there, ifyoudon'tlikethat.com. All right? All good? Sound good, Ryan?
All good. And in the meantime, everybody that has emailed me, I've already responded to you, and I will get back to you for the next round of emails like we talked about. So thank you. We're rolling our sleeves up to our freaking necks right now, trying to get these things out.
Something else that we're going to do for you, and we've been getting a lot of people going, hey, are you going to do pregame? You're going to do pregame. And I said, after the All-Star break. So here's what we're going to do. All right. Starting on Tuesday for the Oklahoma City game, Rhino is going to be coming on and he'll be doing the pregame show. And I will join him occasionally, but he's going to go solo and do a couple of pregame shows. And then I'll join him intermittently on the pregame. And then he and I will do halftime and we'll do postgame. So there you have it. We're expanding our coverage and we'll give you more programming and we will go with the demand. The demand is really good. We want to be able to provide content. You know, again, we had 30,000 people watching a post-game show 2 nights ago. So we're all in. So join us pregame right here on my platform, and you'll be able to watch more coverage of this basketball team as they zero in on their first playoff in 17 years.
Yep, we want to be the place for you to come. Good, solid coverage, and it'll kick off Tuesday night. First solo mission on the pregame. But looking forward to it. So it's going to be a fun ride. I am looking forward
to it as well. Got a lot of people already pumped up on that. You know,
thank you.
Yes, indeed. Very happy. Thank you, Paul. Really appreciate that. Keegan was very good tonight.
Yes, he was.
I would agree with that. I think he's going to be a real key coming down the stretch because I think he's starting to really zero in, and I like what I see from him. So you're spot on. You are spot on, Anita. You were right on. I thought he was very good. 20 points tonight. He had 6 rebounds. I thought, he was very active defensively, 3 steals. There was a lot to like from Keegan Murray.
Yeah, the aggression. That's what I like to see. He has solidified his spot in the NBA thus far as a rookie with the way he's shooting the 3 ball. So the next aspect to add to his game is that pump fake, drive to the hoop, and he's starting to implement that more and more. So we want to see that continuing into the playoffs.
Been a long time, Sea-Dog. Been a long time.
Yeah.
Been a long time.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right. Again, 124 to 115. And how about Sacramento? 10 games above 500. Think about that. 10 games above 500. Incredible. Really appreciate all the support. Thank you. Thank you, Peter. Thank you very much. Thank you, Anita. Thank everybody else.
Yep.
And someone said, and think about Keegan still young. Absolutely. I think the
Yeah.
biggest aspect of him, Ryan, is that he was older, had more college experience, and I think it's really paid off. I'm not sold on the 19-year-old kids that come in. It just takes a while, with the rare exception. But I think Murray, I think he came into this league, NBA body, NBA maturity. I think it's really paid dividends for him.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head, Grant, right there about the NBA body, right? You're
Mhm.
LeBron James, those guys, they come around once in a generation at 18, 19 years old. But when the kids stay in college 4 years, 5 years, and get some NCAA tournament experience, they're so much more seasoned and prepared to step into a role like Keegan has this year.
Yeah, and I thought Trey Lyles tonight, very good coming off the bench. Anita, thank you so much for your super chat donation. And this is game
Thanks,
3.
Anita.
So, if you make a donation, we're going to take one wild card and the 2 largest donations on the super chat, which we started during the Blazers game coming out of the All-Star break. So, and you'll be able to join us right here on the post-game show. So we're happy about that. That would be after the Clippers game, game 6. I can't even remember off the top of my head who the Kings are playing after the Clippers game. I'm trying to go one game at a time here.
Yeah, and that's going to be a heck of a show to be on. That is
Yep.
going to be a fun show. That's the first
Yep.
time the Kings are back at Golden One. So it's going to be rocking.
Absolutely. All right. So again, the Kings are looking good, 3rd in the West, and not only are they 3rd in the West, but they're only a game and a half back of Memphis. So dream, everyone, dream,
Yeah.
dream, dream. Right? Go for number 2. Right? Go for number 2.
Why not? Why
Yep.
not at this point? They still see Memphis twice the rest of the way, Grant, I believe.
I believe one. No, they're done with Memphis. The Kings? I think they're
Yeah.
done with Memphis in their series. Are they not? They went 2-2, did they not?
No. Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. Now that I
Yep.
think about it, because they had the back-to-back. So,
Yep.
but yeah, Memphis, we got to see what they're going to do. They still got a lot of guys out, Grant.
Yes, they do.
Steven Adams is still out.
Yep.
So if the Kings can stay healthy and keep playing this brand of basketball, let me ask you this, and I'll follow up after you. Was there anything tonight that bothered you about their performance?
I thought they were sloppy with the ball at times. I thought the turnovers is the only thing I can really nitpick, and that's going to happen after you play a double overtime game, travel, and everything else. So, they had 19 turnovers. That's a little bit higher than I want. I want those turnovers to be, under 15. So if I'm going to nitpick, that's the one thing I'm going to nitpick on. Other than that, no, nothing else really concerned me about the game. There were times when, again, I just thought that they were a little bit sloppy. I thought Malik Monk was sloppy with the ball tonight. I thought Kevin Huerter was sloppy with the ball tonight. They combined those 2 alone for 8 turnovers. You can't have that.
Yeah.
That's a little too much. But other than that, Ryan, there's nothing else I can look at.
Yeah, and mine kind of ties into that as well. That first stretch in the fourth quarter, they and as they came down the stretch, I should say, they got a little finicky and a little
Yep.
bit of panicky. I want to see them when they're up 7 points with 4 or 5 minutes left. I want to see them slow down a little bit, understand the position they're in, rather than continuing to push
Yep.
and get sloppy.
And Sea Dog's right. Their free throws were not good tonight, 16 of 24. So that would be a second thing. But I didn't even think about the thing that just popped into my mind right away were the turnovers. But you're right. You're right. Free throws were not good, 66%. That was not good. Hey, I want to tell everyone, New Works Plumbing, they are available to you 24/7 for all of your plumbing needs and repairs. Call the number on your screen or just go to sackserviceplumbing.com. Again, they're available around the clock. They've got a fix for you. That's New Works Plumbing, sackserviceplumbing.com, or again, call the number on your screen. Kings win this one, 124-115. They are now 10 games over 500. Don't forget, pregame show is going to be starting on Tuesday, right before the Oklahoma City game. Now, if you are joining us for the first time, we are very happy to have you here on the stream. Do us a favor. Please subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hit that thumbs up. We would greatly appreciate it because you're going to be getting a lot of programming coming here right through the playoffs. And I think playoffs is definitely going to happen. So I'm hoping I'm not jinxing this team. They're going to be in the playoffs. 124-115 tonight with one more game coming up against OKC on Tuesday. I have not heard yet on Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's availability for Tuesday. But, if they don't have him on the floor, I just don't see how Oklahoma City is going to beat Sacramento. I really don't.
No, and they don't match up well without SGA with Sacramento. They're
No.
they're a little bit undersized. They're a bad matchup all around.
Yep.
So, short of the Kings, like you said, just coming out, not shooting the ball well, also coming out and maybe having an injury, this should be a win. That should be a winning streak continued to start the second half.
Yeah, I mean, Kevin Herters did not play well tonight. I mean, it's pretty obvious. He was 3 of 9. He had 0 of 4 with 4 turnovers. He's not playing well, but I would not make, okay, I would not make a change right now. Okay. I just wouldn't. I mean, you're winning. I wouldn't be making any changes to the lineup. I really wouldn't.
Kevin, so if you guys noticed, and correct me if I'm wrong, but Kevin just started the second half. That was it. He wasn't on the floor
That's correct.
after that first rotation. I think Monk actually had a minute or two more than him tonight. So it's give and take. I don't know that I want to see Monk and Fox start the game off together. That's a lot of offense together right there. And you need to kind of have a balanced attack and have that second push off the bench. But Kevin does need to find ways to contribute, or if he's not contributing, not hurt the team like with the
Yep.
turnovers tonight.
Hey, Brian, that stat on that you're talking about doesn't mean anything when you're without your all-star point guard. So those numbers are off the map. That's 19 turnovers is too many against the Thunder without Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Okay, and again, I think you mean Monk plays better off the bench, Bernie, and I would agree. That's his role, and you need that guy coming on the roll. Yeah, Ryan knows what he's talking about. They were underside. He knows. He gets it. Ryan's on top of things. Come on now.
Come on. I wouldn't be getting a pregame show if I wasn't.
Yeah.
Grant, I want to ask you about this because this came up a couple times tonight. The guys kicking their legs out when they're shooting their jump shots. Okay.
Yep.
I've seen numerous times this year where that's called a flagrant one when it's reviewed, but then I've seen numerous times they're not even calling it. It's happened multiple times a game. Where
you have
do you
to
stand?
make contact. And thank you very much for the super chat. Hello, Xavier, 11 years old. We love that.
Wow.
You have to make contact with the leg. It has to. You can kick your leg out if it doesn't hit the opposition. If you do, then it should be an offensive foul.
But I've seen them call it the other way if it's not a natural basketball motion, whether contact was made or not.
I've always thought you had to make contact. I mean, that was my thought on that. I mean, you could, if you want to kick your leg out when you shoot the ball, why would you not be able to do that if you are not gaining an advantage? If you're not gaining an advantage, meaning you're not hitting the defender or whatever, they wouldn't call that.
Fair enough. Yeah, I mean, there's guys that made a career off that, right? Dirk,
yes,
he had the little knee that was always up, but it's interesting how things are points of emphasis and things are not sometimes.
I mean, look at James Harden, right? How many times did we see him do that? So
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
good point.
Man, this is pretty amazing. 124 to 115. Well, Peter, here's the deal. We're going to have the gear available to you right over Ryan's shoulder. You can get gear going on my website here if you don't like that.com. As soon as that gear is available in my merch, then you can buy it right on my website. All right. You can wear it to the playoff games.
Hey,
I would love to see that. If you don't like that, t-shirts all over the arena. I would love that. It'd be good stuff.
I think you'll probably see more than a few.
So. Oh, man. So 124 to 115. Love having you here on the stream. Thank you very much. Don't forget that coming up on Tuesday, we're going to start pregame show. Ryan is going to do that. We're going to have Ryan. He's going to get his pilot's license. You know, his dad is a pilot. So we're going to get Ryan. He's going to go on his solo flight on Tuesday. I got a lot of confidence in you, buddy.
Thanks, Captain. I appreciate it. I'll be the goose to your Maverick, all right? And I promise not to crash.
I'll be the control tower. You know, I'll be here. If you have any issues, you can call the tower, and I'll walk you down to the runway. Okay.
Thank you. I might need help landing it there, but it should be a great time.
Poker, if the Kings don't win over 40 games, Ryan and I will not be doing any shows because we will not be able to handle it. If the Kings do not win 40 games, I mean, they're going to win 40 games. That would be great. Gio, we appreciate that. Yes, shout out to the G-Man. We talked about him at
Yeah.
the half, 3,000 games for the best. So I'm very happy about that. Happy flying, Ryan. Yes, indeed. Happy flying and well. He's going to be doing just fine. He's going to be doing just fine.
10-4, 10-4.
10-4. Oh my gosh. I'll be here, buddy. I'll be here if you need me, you know? Oh my gosh.
Grant, I need the bag that's in front of the seat.
Will the merchandise have international shipping? Yes, we'll make sure of that on the website. All right.
Yep. And thank you to everybody that has been patient with the emails. I've gotten back to everybody that has sent one up until tonight. So I will do those after the show. And thank you so much for your support of it and your interest.
We do not have an extra small size. Sorry. You know, I'll tell you what we do have. We got good quality shirts. All right.
We do.
Oh man, Peter, foot surgery. I'm sorry, man. We
Oh
wish you the
man.
best on that.
Good luck,
Wow.
Peter.
Yeah. Ryan's getting his wings. Yes. Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. Let's get the shirts out there at the Golden One Center. That would be freaking awesome, man. That would be awesome. You know?
They're
Be
good
awesome.
looking shirts. They're
I know.
comfortable too. They are
Awesome.
comfortable.
Well, that's good. If you're going to be wearing them to the game, you got to be comfortable, you know?
Absolutely.
All right. So I know you want the email address again, but we're holding off on that because we're going to be going and we're going to be shifting everything to my website. Okay. It will be, the website is ifyoudon'tlikethat.com. I've had my website up for a couple of years, but we're going to have the merch available there. So it's just going to be much easier and streamlined and everything else. So that's going to be very soon. So we're just going to hold off until that. All right. Yeah, that would be Danny in England, Lydia. He would definitely love a t-shirt. No doubt about it. You know, definitely not.
Eduardo. We got to get one to Eduardo in Chile.
John, that should be WEAR, John. Got to give a little grammar to John, you know. He's getting ready to cook his meal on his barbecue, you know.
What's for dinner, John? What are you cooking? I'm going to say steak.
I know it's whatever it is, it's going to be damn good. That's for sure.
Absolutely.
All right. So again, the Kings will have a much needed rest day tomorrow, and they'll get right back on it Tuesday. Hey, Bennett's in Roseville and in Sacramento. They got a third location. They are going to be coming to Rockland. How about that? I think it's going to be this spring at the Blue Oaks Town Center. Prime Seafood. Their steaks are great. I love when I order seafood. I love the redfish. I just love it. It comes with a side of sauteed spinach. But if I'm doing steak, tough to beat the bone-in ribeye, the porterhouse, prime fillets. The prime New York is great. They got hanger steak. They have it all. Big-time King supporters. And Brian also watches a lot of our post-game programming and halftime. So, Brian, if you are watching, thank you. And so happy to be able to get the word out of how great Bennett's is. Those two locations, Roseville on Eureka and Lead Hill Boulevard, Sacramento on the corner of Howe and Fair Oaks. And again, they're coming to Rockland in the spring. That's Bennett's. Go out and check it out. I know you like, there you go. See, I got to put it on again. I know you enjoy the weekend brunch as well. So Rhino took his wife out there for her birthday recently. Thumbs up. We love it. Thank you very much.
Double thumbs up. One of the best meals we've had in a very long time. Go check it out for sure. So somebody was asking Grant our predictions for where the Kings are going to finish win-losses. If you want to hear a breakdown of that, you can go check that out on my podcast, the Sacktown Crossover. It's on Apple, Buzzsprout. Also can find links on my Twitter. I have the Kings at 45 wins. Grant has the Kings at 43 wins. Does that change for you with this start?
It does. And you and I did this before we knew about injuries and things of that nature. First of all, I'm not taking anything away from Sacramento, okay? I don't think they would have been 3-0 right now out of the gate had Portland played everyone and if Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. I personally feel that if SGA was on the floor tonight, I think the Kings would have lost. That's my take, okay? Because of what happened in the last game. You and I both had the Kings splitting their first two games and splitting their second games. You and I both had them going 2-2. I don't believe they would have been 3-0. But again, you know, that's part of the league. That's part of 82 games. So yes, I would revise my win total now, and I would put them up at 45 as well.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, without SGA, that's 30 points a night that they're missing. Completely
Yes.
different style of play too. So
Yeah,
makes a
and not,
huge
not only
difference.
is it 30 points a night, but it's a guy that is truly one of the best players in the league now. I mean, he really
He
is,
is.
you know.
He
And
is.
so, but that's part of the deal, right? That's part of the deal. Right? It just injuries are going to happen, and you just better pray that the Kings don't have any injuries here coming down in a couple of weeks. Because Ryan, the one thing about this, and we need to really mention this, that everything looks great right now, but the season's not over. It's still February, and
Hmm.
there are a lot of games on the schedule that can fluctuate the standings. And yes, the Kings have a nice pad right now, and that's great. But again, they still, knock on wood, have not had to deal with any injuries, and that's just so unusual in a long NBA season.
Yeah, it is, and especially it's going to be a longer season if they make the playoffs, right? So,
Yeah.
you're also seeing Fox, Sabonis playing a little extended minutes in these games that are closer, more
Yes.
minutes than we saw at the start of the season. So it's going to be really, really important for them to take advantage of these off days, take advantage of getting right.
Yep.
Fox, there was more than a few times tonight, Grant. He was bent over at the knees
Yes.
while they were shooting free throws, and he was worn out, and rightfully so. So
Yep.
that's when injuries can happen, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
He played a lot of minutes tonight. He played 37 minutes in this game, and I'm going to go back and say this. And I'm nitpicking here. All right. So understand when I make this type of a
yeah,
comment. I still think that the failure to get a veteran backup point guard is going to hurt this team before it's all said and done this year. Like Fox played 37 minutes tonight. That's a lot of minutes on the heels of what he did playing 40 plus the other night. Mitchell tonight, okay, played 14 minutes, and again, he's not a threat at all offensively. He was 1 of 3. He only scored 2 points in 14 minutes, and he was -6 when he was on the floor. I know he
yeah.
plays good defense. I get that. But if you have to have somebody run your offense when Fox is not on the floor, who's it going to be in a big game? The Kings don't really have that guy on their team.
No, I would say it would have to be Matthew Dellavedova.
Yeah.
I can never say his name. I'm sorry. Go
Dellavedova,
ahead and
Dellavedova, but he doesn't even play.
Dellavedova.
I mean,
Yeah, he does.
he's not even someone that Mike Brown looks at. He doesn't even get in the games.
No, he doesn't. But I mean, maybe that's something that they do need to start looking at. I mean, we're talking about mixing up the starting lineup, which I agree with Grant. Don't fix it if it's not broke. But
Right.
the back end of the rotation, we're not seeing Holmes play either, right?
Yes.
There could be some benefit to getting Matt on the court a little bit because that's exactly what he is. He will run the offense very well for you, and he stepped in and played decent in
Yeah.
the times he's gotten opportunities.
Christopher, I understand your question, and I'm okay with the question, but it's too early. It's February. It's too early. Okay, I'm sorry. It's just too early. And by that, when we get to April 1st, or when the Kings clinch a playoff spot, then I'm happy to do it. But I'm just telling you, okay, if De'Aaron Fox goes down with an injury for any period of time, and period of time, I'm not talking about a game or two. I'm talking about
Yeah.
a couple of weeks. We're not going to be talking about the playoffs. We're going to be biting our nails and won't be able to sleep at night because the Kings are going to be losing a lot of games. I'm sorry, but that's just the reality of it. So let's just wait a little bit before we start talking about playoff matchups. All right? There you have it.
Yeah, the jump Fox has taken this season has been unreal. It's a
Yeah.
different De'Aaron Fox, and he played well last season too.
Mm-hmm.
So to not have him on the court, let's just be blunt about it. Like you said, there is no other player on the roster that can do what he does, and that also opens up things for Sabonis. So
Yeah.
that they would be in deep trouble, Grant, very deep.
Well, we do say that about teams when they lose their best player. And guess what? Every team that's around the Kings in the standings, okay, have lost their best or second best player. Every single one, except for Sacramento. And that's why we talk about that. Because I'm telling you right now, there's no way in the world the Kings would be in distance of Memphis if it weren't for their injuries, okay? Had Devin Booker not gotten hurt, Phoenix would be ahead of Sacramento right now. The Clippers goes without saying, all right? You look at Minnesota without Cat. You look at the injuries to Golden State. Does anyone think the Warriors would be 30-30 without Steph Curry's injury and everything else they've dealt with? No. Does anyone believe that New Orleans would be 30-31 without Zion Williamson? So we talk about it because it jumps right out at you. We all are aware that when you lose your best player or your second best player, you're going to have trouble winning over a prolonged period of time. The point that we try to make over and over again, the Kings are really, other than maybe Denver, the only team in the NBA that has not dealt with injuries, okay? And in the Western Conference, all the teams around Sacramento have dealt with injuries all year, except for the Kings. And that's why, one of the big reasons why they're 35-25. And again, I'm not taking anything away from Sacramento, but look at what happened tonight. You think the Kings would have won the game tonight if Shai Gilgeous-Alexander had been on the floor? I don't think the Kings would have won the game tonight, turning the ball over and shooting free throws the way they did because of what happened 2 days ago. I don't believe they would have won the game tonight. But guess what? He didn't play, and the Kings took advantage of it. That's what you have to do.
Well, and not an injury, it was rest. Same can be said about Portland game on Thursday.
Correct.
If Dame had been playing in that game, had Grant had been playing in that game, that's a completely different outcome. Grant and I both had the Kings losing that game.
That's correct.
So, it's interesting. But the one thing that we can say is up until this point, the Kings have taken advantage of these opportunities.
Right.
And that's what they have to do.
I'm not talking about guys that have injuries that are playing. You can't talk about Sabonis' thumb injury. It hasn't impacted his game in any way, shape, or form. His production did not slow down. His play did not slow down. So his injury is basically a non-injury. That's what it is. I'm talking about games missed due to injury. A player that plays with an injury, first of all, there are a lot of guys that are playing in the NBA that are injured, okay? That doesn't count. Sabonis on his thumb did not impact him. He missed one game. He missed one game because of his thumb injury. That's not an injury. All right. I'm talking about guys that can't play because they can't walk and they can't run and they have an injury that prevents them from being on the floor. That's not Sabonis. Okay. Just not.
Donald, what are you talking about? Talking about freak injuries? We're talking about injuries that happen in the game.
Yes.
So it's not a freak injury thing, slipping off the plane when you're landing in a city. I mean, it's breaking a hand. Like when Fox fell forward tonight in the fourth quarter, do you notice how he fell? He kept his hands behind him because that's a lot of times how point guards will hurt their hands. So especially this time of year when you're playing that many minutes and you're coming towards the playoffs.
Hey, Derek, maybe they do win the game with SGA playing. Maybe they do. Do you understand the point that we're trying to make here, or are you just like only hearing what you want to hear? Okay. You take advantage of the breaks that you get, but we're delusional. Okay. If you think that this game would not have been different tonight if Shai Gilgeous-Alexander had been on the floor. Now, could have the Kings won? Of course. But if you think the game would not have been different, then you're delusional. All right. The game would have been different. And the only point we're trying to make here is when people ask me about Grant, who's the best team to play in the playoffs and everything else, you got to be careful right now about thinking about the playoffs matchups. I do think the Kings are going to be in the playoffs. I do. Mm-hmm. But if De'Aaron Fox on Tuesday sprains his ankle badly and is out 3 or 4 weeks, the Kings are going to be lucky, okay, to win 5 more games the rest of the year. Let me repeat myself. If De'Aaron Fox sprains his ankle or injures himself on Tuesday, where he misses 3 to 4 weeks, the Kings will be lucky to win 5 more games. Okay? That's the point we're trying to make. We're not talking about, there's no way they would have won the game tonight. I don't believe they would have won the game tonight, but we'll never know. But if you think the game wouldn't have been different, then you're delusional.
Napes, the season would certainly be different if De'Aaron sprained his ankle and was out 3 weeks, but they would win more than 5 games. Why do you say 5 games?
I honestly, I don't think they would. They'd beat San Antonio. They would beat the New Orleans maybe. But
Chicago.
If you took De'Aaron Fox out of the lineup with the schedule that they have, you pick out the 5 games that they would win without De'Aaron. Go ahead, look at the schedule right now and give me 5 games that you think without De'Aaron Fox playing, the Kings would win. Do you think that they would win against the Clippers at home without De'Aaron Fox?
No.
Okay, let's have fun here. Let's just, since
Yeah,
we're on the
let's do
post
it.
game and people want to break all this down, let me get to the Kings schedule here and let's bring it up. Okay. If De'Aaron Fox does not play for the Sacramento Kings, they have 22 games left. Okay.
Okay.
So I'm going to go over the schedule and you tell me win or lose without De'Aaron Fox. You ready?
All right.
All right.
Let's go.
Oklahoma City on Tuesday. Well, he's playing Tuesday, so we can't count that. Okay.
Okay.
Clippers,
Loss.
Minnesota at home,
Win.
New Orleans
Win.
at home,
Loss.
New York at home.
Win.
Really?
Yep.
They're playing really
ahead.
well. At Phoenix,
Loss.
Milwaukee home,
Loss.
at Chicago,
Win.
at Brooklyn,
Loss.
at Washington,
Win.
at Utah,
Loss.
Boston at home,
Ooh, loss.
Phoenix at home,
Loss.
Utah at home,
Loss.
Minnesota at home,
Win.
at Portland and at Portland,
Split.
San Antonio at home,
Win.
at New Orleans,
Loss.
at Dallas,
Loss.
home Golden State,
Steph Curry healthy. Loss.
at Denver.
Loss.
Again, I'm just making a point. You know, if you, here's why I'm making this point. Why would you think that De'Aaron Fox not playing would be any different than Devin Booker not playing with Phoenix?
Yeah.
Okay. What happened to Phoenix without Devin Booker? What happened?
They plummeted. They did
they
not
couldn't
play
even
good
win a
basketball.
game.
Yeah,
They didn't
exactly.
even they won just a few games. So
Right.
why would it be any different without De'Aaron Fox? Okay, what has New Orleans done without Zion Williamson?
Nothing.
Okay, why
Except
would
beat
it
the
be-
Kings by 32.
But you don't understand what I'm saying? I
Yeah,
mean,
no, I got you, Grant. And
Right.
it's a double-edged sword there because you bring up a good point. You say Phoenix without Booker. Everybody wants to see Fox on this level as those guys. And if you
Yes.
want to see him on the level of those elite players, that's how important he is to this team.
Well, again, we talk about people that got nervous tonight watching Fox with, hit it in the floor. And you made a good point about that. So, hey, here's the deal. All right. The Kings are 10 games over 500. Okay. They're having not a good year. They're having a great year. All I'm trying to say, okay, is we're getting people asking you and I, Ryan,
Yeah.
about playoff matchups. And the only point that I'm making is let's wait a little bit before we talk about playoff matchups. Let's, number one, see the team clinch a playoff spot, right? And number two, get a better idea of where they would be in terms of a seed before we talk about matchups. I personally think it's too soon to start talking about playoff matchups. There's 22 games left.
Well, and theoretically as well, there's only a handful of teams that are likely going to be playing anyways. So it's short of the disaster that you're talking about. And we don't want to be negative. We're not trying to be
Not
negative,
being negative.
but we have to be honest too, because that's just a fact. So it's not doomsday forecasting. It's just a fact. So
Well, and again, the reason why I'm even talking about this is because of the questions that we're getting on the stream. So
yeah,
if I just tell you I'm not talking about playoff matchups, I have to tell you why I'm not going to talk about playoff matchups. I want to give you the reason. And the reason is I'm using examples of other teams in the
Exactly.
West who have lost their best player and they have plummeted. They can't even win a game. And I disagree with Ryan. Ryan's got them winning more than 5. Hopefully we don't have to find out. But I think winning games would be a very difficult proposition for Sacramento. Let's hope we don't have to, experience that. Here's what I do know. Okay. The Kings are not a fluke. The Kings are not some oh, gee, they're lucky. No, they're 35 and 25. Okay. Their sample size of games is really good. Here's what else we know. They can outscore any team in the league. They've proven that. Here's what else we know. They're a pathetic, horrible defensive team. We get that. But there's a reason why there's a scoreboard hanging over the floor to keep score. The Kings on most nights, not every night, on most nights are going to be able to outscore their opponent, period. And here's something else, Ryan. if the Kings are hitting on all cylinders, they're going to beat just about every team in the league. Now, do I think they could beat a team like Boston or Milwaukee or Denver or a healthy Phoenix team 4 out of 7 games or a healthy Warriors team? Personally, I don't. Okay. But we're going to find out, because if this team does indeed make the playoffs, and it sure as hell looks like they're going to, we are going to find out how they match up against some of the real good teams in the Western Conference. There you have it.
Yes, we are. And they have absolutely, like you said, earned the right to do that. And that's what this is all about. It's leading up to the playoffs. And you're spot on when you say they could win any given night with the offense and the style they play. One game, they could win against any team in the league.
You can go back and watch it right from the beginning as soon as we're done. So you can watch these shows at your leisure. All right. No problem at all. Again, there's so many positive things to talk about with this team. But, if you think, first of all, anyone that's listened to me and watched me over the years, I'm not going to just sit here and be a cheerleader for you. I'm not going to, sugarcoat everything. I'm just not. And again, people hear what they want to hear. We're not being negative. You know what we're being? We're being objective. Okay. That's what we're being. We're being objective. It's not negative. All right. You gotta stop thinking that there are no bad things that can happen. Bad things can happen. Okay. And the only point we're trying to make is you better not lose Fox. And really, I think the same is true of Sabonis. But I think Fox is the one guy you absolutely cannot lose. And hopefully it doesn't happen. And speaking of Fox, you got to love the fact that he's playing a lot of minutes, has a lot of wear and tear, and his production is not falling off at all, Ryan. He's putting up the same great numbers night after night after night. It's amazing. It's amazing.
It really is, Grant. I mean, fourth quarter is Fox time. There's no doubt at this point. And he's proven that he is a legitimate top 7 point guard in the NBA. Arguably, Grant, would you say top 5?
Yes, absolutely. Yep. That's exactly what I'm saying. That's 100% what we're saying. That's absolutely right. Hey, thank you very much. Do us a favor, Vladimir. We, first of all, appreciate you. Subscribe to the channel. And for those of you that are new, subscribe to the channel and hit the like button, the thumbs up. We would greatly appreciate it. I'm glad you found us. We had 30,000 people watching us the other night after the Kings beat the Clippers. And so and again, for those of you that are just coming in late, just joining us right now, beginning on Tuesday, we're going to have a pregame. All right. We're going to have pregame. Brian is going to go solo for a couple times. So that is going to start on Tuesday before the Kings and the Thunder. Now, here's the website. All right. I've had this website for a couple of years. Very soon, and I will let you know, and so will Ryan. As soon as the merchandise is available on my website, it's going to be so easy. Just go to ifyoudontlikethat.com. You'll be able to click on the link. You can order whatever you want right there. All right. So that's going to be happening real soon. Ifyoudontlikethat.com. And we're excited about that. And I'm just telling you, these final 25 games that are now down to 22, we're talking about almost 2 decades of being able to experience this. So let's freaking enjoy it,
Absolutely. Savor every moment of every game. This is the playoffs right now, Grant. It is.
The white shirts are going to be available, correct, Ryan? That's not going to be that far off.
No, that's not far off at all.
Yep. Okay. So there you have it. We'll get the white shirts. Maybe we'll do purple. Who knows? You know what I mean? I mean, whatever, right?
Yeah. Maybe we should do orange too.
Not going to do orange. Here's what's nice about the shirts. Just like this show, with the demand, we do more. If people want shirts, we'll produce more with different colors and different ideas. Okay, there you have it.
Absolutely. We love your feedback. Submit ideas. We will go with it if we like it.
I agree with you that we do need sleeveless for Joey Reynolds. I think you're 100% correct.
Oh boy. You think Mrs. Reynolds would approve of that?
She don't care. She don't care what the hell he does. Absolutely. Oh my gosh. All right. So again, the Kings how about this? 10 games over 500. How freaking awesome is that?
So great. Absolutely great. This team is been a joy to watch. They're fun on the road. They're fun at home. So very, very awesome. Soak it in.
Military green, and I'll get one. Yeah, that might be.
Okay.
Yeah, we like the ideas. Keep the ideas coming. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I didn't
Absolutely.
even think about that, but yeah, I like that. Absolutely. 1985 ones. What would that
Hmm.
look like? The baby
Oh,
blue, the
like the
light
baby
blue.
blue.
Yeah,
Hmm,
you
okay.
know. Yeah,
I can see
absolutely.
that. Well, this isn't going to be the only design either. So
No,
we're going to have some fun with that. So
absolutely. All right. So here's the deal. Tuesday. All right. Tuesday before the game, Mr. Ryan in Sacktown here is going solo. All right. I'm letting him go solo. He's going to get his license. He's going to go
yeah.
up in the air and hopefully have a smooth takeoff and a smooth landing. That's before the game. All right. So give an idea. How early before the game will you come on?
30 minutes before the game.
30 minutes before the game. All right. So the game is at 5 o'clock on Tuesday, right? So you'll be on at 4:30.
4:30. We'll lead you
All right.
right up to tip off.
And then Ryan and I will be on at halftime, and then we'll be on after the game. Now, if you see me on during the pregame, that means that Ryan's solo journey did not go well. All right. So if all of a sudden I pop up on the pregame, because I'm going to be watching. I am going to be watching. I want you to know that. No pressure, Ryan, but your man here is going to be watching, okay?
All right. All right. All right.
But
I can deal with that.
But I do know one thing, okay? It's going to be a smooth flight. I'm not even worried about it. I'm not worried about it. He's going to be just fine. There you go.
Thank you. Thank you.
Look at all the
and
people
thank you to everybody
supporting
out
you.
there. It's going to
They
be
love
fun.
it, man. Yes. Love it. Oh, man. Oh, no, he's not going to do a rant. There's only one Grant Napier. Okay?
This is true. Hey, you know what, Grant? Why don't we wrap the night up with a rant? Does anybody
Well, you got to give me
somebody I know.
you gotta
Somebody's got to come up with a good one. Give us some ideas
give us
right
some
now.
ideas. Give us some ideas, and I'll close the show with a rant. All right?
Love it.
Amazing. You're going to have a lot of people watching on
I hope
Tuesday.
so.
I'm excited about that.
I hope so. And it's going to be very interactive, just like this show. So it's going to be a big community talking about the game.
Yeah. Yes. The boss is going to be watching. Ryan will blow it out of the water. You got this. Wrap up the night with a rant. I need, let's see. Dallas collapsing tonight. Yeah. How about Dallas collapsing tonight? How about that, huh?
Gosh. Yeah. Doesn't seem to be working out.
I was in Phuket when Grant went on his Highway 50 rant. Wow. We got a lot of people that go to Phuket. We had Rich calling me once from Phuket. You were in Phuket. I love the fact that we got people all over the world watching,
It's amazing. It's amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. How about a playoff prediction rant? No, I can't do that. How about Mark Jones being a terrible? No, I can't do that. Make a rant on why the Kings didn't make the Super Bowl. Okay, Eduardo, that's good.
That's interesting.
Rant on Russell Wilson. All right. What else? It's going so fast.
Okay. The worthless. I like this one. The worthless 2-minute report.
Yeah, that is. You want me to rant on that?
Do it.
All right. All right, let me tell you something. So Adam Silver becomes NBA commissioner, replacing the great David Stern, right? And he talks about transparency in the league. Transparency. What the hell does that mean? Transparency. So they decided to come out with this stupid ass 2-minute report. Last 2 minutes of a close game. So we can see every calls that were made, calls that weren't made. And what does it do? It embarrasses the NBA officials, makes the officials look bad. The officials hate it. And then everyone can see the calls that were made correctly, the non-calls, and so on and so forth. So, for instance, we saw a couple of weeks ago, LeBron James playing at Boston, clearly fouled, all right? Doesn't get to go to the line and win the game. Game goes to overtime and Boston wins. Not only does the NBA come out with a last 2-minute report or whatever the hell it's called, but then they make an apology. Did that change the standings? Did that help the LA Lakers? So if you're going to come out with a transparent 2-minute report, do something about it. You want to fix your league? Get rid of the 2-minute report and add replay challenges to end of all games, okay? Last 30 seconds, all right? Whenever there's a whistle, review the damn play, all right? Final sequence. How many games have the Kings lost this year because of bad calls at the end of the game? Tyler Hurl's 3, right? Tyler Hero in Miami made a 3. Took, he had enough steps where, had he been outside, he'd be on South Beach, for crying out loud. All right. You had the foul, Klay Thompson fouling Kevin Huerter from downtown, and there have been others as well. All right. The Kings have been screwed on the last play of the game. Why are we not reviewing that? Adam Silver wants to be transparent with these damn 2-minute reports. Throw them in the garbage. You're throwing your refs under the bus. They don't mean a damn thing. They don't change anything. It makes your league look bad. It makes the officials look bad. How about some common freaking sense brought into the league? Common freaking sense. Common sense is bring the replay back for the final 30 seconds or the final minute, and on every dead ball, you can review every damn play. Because your officials are making a ton of mistakes this year, Mr. Silver. Your officials have been bad this year. They have been very bad, all right? And just like we see replay challenge in baseball, taking a bad call or a mistake and making it so that the team does not get screwed. Well, this year in the NBA, Commissioner, many teams have been screwed because of the poor job that your officials have been doing night in, night out. Get rid of the damn 2-minute report. Bring back common sense. Let's have some damn automatic replays at the end of games so teams stop getting screwed. And that's my rant for today.
Grant's Rant brought to you by Zoom 180, a flashlight unlike any other. 3 LED lights
5
on
LEDs.
it. 5 LED lights on it. Go
That's
check out zoom180.com.
Excellent. And here's the other deal about zoom180.com. This is a revolutionary new flashlight available to order right now. And if you don't like it, you'll send it back, and Roy is going to give you a full 100% money back guarantee. We got a Coors Light, my favorite beer. Thank you very much. Yeah, Tony, you know what? I don't know what's happened to Tony. He's doing a horrible job. I would agree with you. Man, I'm love all these messages, everything else. And Ryan, right on cue. You know what? See, that's what I love about Ryan. I did my rant. I didn't add my sponsor. And Ryan's like, Napes, you forgot the most important part of our job. That's making the people that sponsor the show happy. So Ryan stepped in. He got the job done. Talked about Zoom 180. Go to zoom180.com. I'm just telling you, folks, you need to check out this flashlight. It is freaking awesome. There you have it. What a good way to end the show, huh, buddy?
Excellent way to end the show. 10 games over 500, Grant. 10 games over 500.
No, he is definitely not crashing and burning. Not my man here. Not happening. All right. Thank you very much. Does Zoom 180 also make flashlights? Tyler, go to zoom180.com and then get back to me. Ryan, thank you, buddy. Another good show, my friend. And I'll look forward to watching you on the pregame show Tuesday. Cannot wait for that. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Thank you, partner. See everybody there.
See everybody. Thank you for joining us right here. Enjoy your Sunday. And remember this. Oh, if you don't like that, you don't like Kings basketball. Oh, boy.